Welcome back to the program. So, the latest death toll that I am hearing that is coming out of Iran is about 41,000. That's right. It was 36.5 less than 4 days ago. I'm hearing it's at least 41,000. The IRGC are out and about. They are patrolling once again. The people are still continuing to fight. But President Trump has said that, quote, Iran is negotiating, which is interesting because the armada is in place. They are in strike position. And yet he's saying, we'll see what happens. They're trying to negotiate. From what I understand, the Iranian regime itself, and of course the Ayatollah through other channels because he's being hidden somewhere in the country underground, but his president and his foreign minister are saying that they are willing to give up their nuclear program. Now, we know that they're not. We know that this is nothing more than trying to buy extra time, maybe to fool the international community, maybe even to gain favor with international media and things like that. But I don't think it's going to work, okay? That's number one. Number two, a great move by the European Union has just taken place, and that is that they have now also designated the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist organization. Not only that, so did Australia, and Canada is getting ready to do the same. Now, the United States has already done it a long time ago, but this is significant in the way because they are now realizing that this regime needs to go. And if they're all going to say the same thing, they're all going to be on the same, playing field of saying that who we are going after and taking out are actual terrorists, well, then the international community can also get behind that. So it's really more of a psychological victory, if you will, than anything else. But this is coming from inside the Trump administration, and it says anonymous Western sources inside the Trump administration without naming names because obviously they didn't want to do that. But this is from January 30th, so yesterday at 23:43 GMT. So what is that? 23 minus 12. So whatever time that is. So it's like, 12 hours difference? So that's when this came out. Military strikes on Iran are, quote, now virtually certain, end quote. Decision-making circles in the United States and Israel have moved past diplomacy with Iran, viewing military action as effectively decided, with only the timing still under debate. A Western source familiar with coordination told Iran International. According to this source, the key question in current meetings is no longer whether an attack will take place, but rather when an appropriate operational and political window will emerge. A window that could open in the coming days or take shape over the course of the next several weeks. The source emphasized that at this stage, the logic being discussed, unlike in previous periods, is not based on, quote, reaching a new agreement, which kind of goes with what President Trump was saying, because he was talking about how they're trying to negotiate, but he's also saying that we'll see what happens. He gave them an opportunity to get rid of their nuclear program. That was part of the negotiations, but it was also for the Ayatollah to leave power. And of course, the Ayatollah said he's not leaving power. So that's why the sources are saying it's just a matter of time before they end up doing this. And the other interesting thing is that the Rial, which I've already said, has completely collapsed. Well, now it's even worse. The Rial is now million, what is it? 1,064,000 underneath the dollar, which is, you can't come back from that. It's literally impossible to come back from that. Iran's rial sinks to 1.64 million per dollar. So that would mean that you would have to have 1.64 million rials just to equal $1. That's crazy. That shows you that the regime is gone. It's just literally, like I said before, it's a dead regime walking at this point. And the other thing is, still over 1 million people do not have internet. There's been some explosions that have taken place near Tehran. Residents say a building was hit in Bandar Abbas. What else? Israel is not involved in any of these Iranian blasts, according to Reuters. Iranian women's soccer player has quit the national team over the killings. Iran arrests 3 signatories of statehood, blaming Khomeini for killings. So they're still arresting people. A famous composer quit a film festival because of the killings. So the people and the people in the media and the people in sports and entertainment that are Iranian are also turning against the regime, which is wonderful. IRGC outlet says that Iran accepted nuclear limits, but Trump seeks complete and total disarmament. Let's see what else is going on. Even Trump posted on Truth Social a picture of a whole bunch of Iranian security officials, so the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, and they're all out in the streets with their guns, and they're all, doing their patrols, and it says, happening now, Tehran, the IRGC are in full panic mode, and then he wrote, fully shitting their pants, Donald Trump on X. And then let's see, Iran's Laranjani says that framework is being discussed for more negotiations, which, of course, I don't think Trump wants. I think he understands. We'll, as he keeps saying, we'll see what happens. And then the other thing that's really interesting is that President Trump has said publicly here in America that he is not letting the Gulf allies, the other Muslim countries, know anything about the plans and what they're planning on doing with Iran, which is smart, because when he was asked about it, he said, no, I'm not talking to them. I'm not letting them know the plans. If it would even be worse than letting you folks know, meaning the media. He took a dig at the media. He goes, so no, we're not doing that. Well, what happened after that was that Saudi Arabia then said, well, if you're not going to tell us what you're doing, you're not allowed to use our airfield, our airspace for any attacks. So that's what Saudi Arabia said. On the other hand, they're pushing the Trump administration to act quicker and get this done faster. So what are they doing here? Are they playing both sides? Are they trying to gain, privy or whatever privilege with the Iranians? I don't understand. Doesn't make any sense. But now they're saying because the United States and Israel will not tell the Gulf states what their plans are militarily, they're now trying to say, well, you can't use our airspace. So President Trump said he's not concerned about it. He probably doesn't need it anyway. They've already probably disengaged all of their, missile defense capabilities with their special weapons and tools and everything else. So I don't know. It's going to be pretty interesting, pretty quick. But again, when is it going to happen? We don't know. We don't know. So in brief, here's the summary. U.S. President Donald Trump says that Iran is, quote, currently negotiating with the United States, and we will, quote, see what happens. However, Iran's president said on Saturday that the U.S. can't force Iran into talks through different types of military threats. And then it goes on to say that there were 2 explosions. Let's see here. 2 explosions struck South Iran on Saturday, one in Bandar Abbas and the other in Avas, killing several people. The Revolutionary Guard denied reports that its Navy chief was killed in the blast, while Israel rejected any involvement. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, if I pronounce that right, said recent developments show that President Trump, Benjamin Netanyahu, and European countries were seeking to provoke unrest and sow division. No, we just want regime change. The Keshan newspaper, overseen by representatives of the supreme leader, called for the expulsion of European Union ambassadors from Iran in response to the EU's decision to designate the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist organization. Iran's top security official, Ali Larijani, contacted officials in regional countries, including Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates last week, and warned that Tehran would target U.S. embassies in those countries if the United States attacks Iran. An Iranian government source told Iran International. President Trump said on Friday that he had directly communicated a deadline to Iran for reaching a deal with the United States, although that deadline has not been made public. Decision-making circles in the United States and Israel have moved past diplomacy with Iran, viewing military action as the only effectively decided way, with only the timing still under debate. A Western source familiar with coordination talks told Iran International. So that's all I know right now. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it is going to happen. And I hope it happens a lot sooner rather than later so that we can liberate this country and save more lives. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.